Hey guys, so welcome to the Karam Show. Today we have amazing personality, amazing guest. She is an actor and she is changing lives so many people. So she is also a life coach. I'm really excited to ask few questions about acting, coaching, and so many other things. So join me in welcoming Vidushi Mehra. I'm really pleased to have Vidushi on my show, on the Karam Show. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Karam. I must compliment you on a Monday morning to see that wonderful burst of energy coming through you is very, very inspiring. And it's already like making me feel very, very alive on a Monday morning. Thank you for that energy.
Okay. Vidushi, we would like to know about your journey. Like I've seen that you have, in acting and then in the coaching and then other fields as well. So we would like to your journey, your challenges, how that went and the what things inspired you to do, multiple things and now changing lives of many people.
Thank you, Karam. Well, like anybody, I'm just a girl who has dreams. And as a very young girl, I was very intrigued by performance art. So as a
Okay.
child, I started doing a lot of theater, and I was doing theater through school and college. And then, of course, I wanted a little bit more. My parents wanted a little bit more from me because I was also a student who did well in school. So my
Okay.
mother, in fact, would always say that theater should just be pursued as a hobby. But what are you going to do for life?
Okay.
So I had to educate myself. I'm also an MBA
Mm-hmm.
in marketing and finance. And
Okay.
eventually I went on to become a working professional in the corporate world. I worked with three very large companies. I started my corporate career with GE Capital. I worked with them for 2.5 years. Then I went on to American Express, the Finance Resource Center. I was with them for 3.5 years. And
Okay.
then I went to work with the erstwhile ABN AMRO that got bought up by the Royal Bank of Scotland. I
Mm-hmm.
was with them for 4 years.
Okay.
And I had my children in 2007. I was gifted with twins.
Okay.
And I realized when I was a new mother and a young mother
Mm-hmm.
that, lives are just so programmed. Our lives are usually dictated by what others believe we should do. And for a very long
Yes.
time, I kept doing what my parents expected me to do.
Okay.
After I had my children, I realized that I would probably do this to them. So it was a small transition bridge. I was on the precipice of um, wanting to do and feel free. So I decided to go back to theater,
Okay.
and my husband was really supportive at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And after my children were slightly older, I mean, they were still babies, but they were about 2 years old. I decided to go back to the stage, and it was through one such production, the world of opportunity into film also opened. And I
Okay.
wasn't expecting to be a film actor at all. I mean, for me, it was like, wow, like, how does that happen to someone like me?
Mm-hmm.
But it did, and I'm very grateful because it made me understand the huge, it's a very beautiful comparison to be on stage and to be in film. And very few actors get that opportunity to do both.
Mm-hmm.
And it was through that experience of being in the film industry and continuing my work on stage, I realized so many skill sets can be made. So I had a banking career, I had a film career, starting to have a film career, and I had my experience on stage since the age of 6. So while this was brewing inside of me and I was being able to create this world of wonderful interactions with many people, it was only last year in the lockdown when we were hit by the pandemic, I realized that there is so much more to me than just being an actor or being a mother or being, the various roles one plays. And I
Yes.
wanted to give
Yes.
back. and we all want to give back.
Yes,
So I
definitely.
started to write down my thoughts, and my thoughts became a script for the creation of the Actors Toolbox.
Okay.
And we launched it in October last year. And I'm very, very proud of that because it has managed to impact a very small part of human life, but it has managed to do that. And that has opened many multiple ways for me to interact with people like you, Karam, and many around, to just to just be inspired. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yes, yes. I attended your last master class as well. So it was really amazing on empathy. And yes. So how so there are many people who want to be actors or good actors, and few of my friends when I was in college, they were practicing, and still out of college many people are going into taking some coachings or some doing something to be a good actor. And these days, like, people have started making their own films first on Facebook or somewhere, right? So
Yes.
how one can plan to be to be an actor? So what things goes
Thank you.
behind
That's
that
a
plan,
very good
Keen?
question. That's a very good question to anyone listening in today. See, acting, one, you must first understand that we are all actors,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Why do
And
I keep saying,
yeah.
Karan, you're an actor.
Okay,
I'm an actor.
okay, okay. So
We are,
the thing
yeah,
is,
yeah.
like, I've never considered, myself to be actor. That's the point.
No, but let me explain to you why I say that.
Yes, yes.
We
Please,
are
please,
all
please.
actors. We are all actors because we are all performing
Mhm.
one way or the other. We're performing in our workspace. We're
Yes.
performing as, in our personal relationships.
Hmm.
We're performing to achieve goals. We're
Hmm.
performing to attain those goals. So it's a
Hmm.
never ending loop of performance. We're all at
Okay.
the end of the day performing, and we all have multiple roles in which we perform constantly. So acting really is knowing a role and being able to be in the role. That is all
Okay.
acting is.
Okay.
And actors do it for a living, and non actors do it intrinsically without even knowing. So we're
Hmm.
all actors.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you plan to act professionally and
Hmm.
do it for a living,
Hmm.
then of course the journey changes because then you get into an industry like any other job.
Hmm.
Um, and then when you're in an industry, then you have challenges. Like in
Right.
any other job, you have people, you have their
Yes.
emotions, you have expectations. You have to meet people's requirements and your own requirements of a particular role, whether it's on stage, whether it's in film. And then when you've decided to do embark on that journey,
Hmm.
you have a proper understanding of who you need to cater to. What is your audience? Who's going to guide you through it? Is it going to be your mentors, the people, your teachers? All of that understanding of yourself has to come into play before you decide to be an actor. Who are you really? Which is why I created the Actors Toolbox, because for me, the Actors Toolbox has three incredible tools that any non actor can use. You have body language, you have your voice, and you have your own understanding of your character. And what I mean by that is if you don't understand who you are, what your strengths are, what your capabilities are, what your emotional range is, how are you expected to understand somebody else?
Okay. Okay.
So your body language is constitutes 65% of your non-verbal reasoning. 65%.
Okay.
You can just be quiet 65% of the time, but you can still be conveying so much. You can be conveying empathy through your expression. You could be conveying a multiple of emotions through just your body language. How excited are you? How energetic are you? How responsive are you? Um, So, and your voice becomes such an important asset as well, because what are you saying? What are you saying when you're thinking through your mind? Eventually, what is it that you express? How do you express it? How do you articulate it? What is the quality of your voice? Are you loud? Are you fast? Are you audible? Are you relatable? Are you understood? Are you clear? So it is a beautiful combination. And then I realized that yes, an actor uses these three tools constantly to sharpen his portrayal of roles, which is why he convinces you. Kajol, Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, what are they doing? They are constantly using body language, voice, and their own understanding of themselves to portray the wonderful roles that they've given us. They're able to convince you that they're not Kajol or Amitabh Bachchan or Shah Rukh anymore, right? They become these new characters. And it's not just one character that they play. They keep evolving to keep learning, to keep playing different roles. They take their
Yes, yes.
inspiration from real life, from people like us. We take inspiration from people like them. So
Yes, yes, so true.
my whole idea was that if they take inspiration from us and we take inspiration from them, then why don't we use their skills? Why don't we use their tools? Which is what we should be using anyway, because it's not about an actor or a non-actor. These are humans' practical skills. Human practical skills to improve, to transform, having a better positive body image, having a better understanding of myself, being able to work on my voice, to be able to express myself to the world. These are human practical skills. And why should I differentiate between an actor and a non-actor? So therefore, the birth of the actor's toolbox.
Okay, now I got the clarity. Otherwise, I was not understanding that I am actor. I am, even though I am performing multiple things, but not considering it is not in even my mind that I am an actor. But you made it very clear, and
You are
it
an actor because
yes,
you have these three skills. You're constantly using them without you even knowing them. But if
yes,
I, as a coach or as somebody who has a professional experience in the world of acting, can impart that training to anyone who wants it, they'll be able to understand it even more through an
yes,
actor's vision. And you'll be
yes,
able to actually start appreciating the medium of acting, and you'll be able to use these skills like an actor does. Because
yes,
when an actor deploys or uses these skills, he transforms. He transforms. So why can't we do the same? We must transform also to the best of our ability, to the maximum of our potential. We must keep transforming in our roles.
this is
Sir,
a
sir,
really
can I say something?
Yes, please.
ask. Yes, Ashish, you go ahead.
It's a wonderful realization to know that acting does not mean you need a stage to enact yourself. Acting is just simply expressing different sort of emotions, and
Absolutely.
we
You
do
do that
that
all the time, but you're not aware. You're not
Hmm.
aware, but you have an audience all the time. I'm your audience. You are my audience. You know, you have suddenly look, if you're looking at me, you become my audience. If I'm looking at you are looking at me as your audience. So, I
Yes,
mean, imagine that all the time, that people are watching you, you're performing. But if there is a button in your head that switches on and says, I am an actor right now, and I need to convince my audience of a particular task, whether you're in your workspace, whether you're with your wife, whether you are with your parents or your children, you can constantly engage with them, make it meaningful, make it interactive, make it interesting, engaging, making it alive with your animation, with your emotions, with your body language, by constantly speaking through your voice, by relating to the other person. The ability to relate is what we call empathy. And that is what we always need when we have another human being, whether it's a one on one or a one to many. You are still using the ability to relate That is what an actor does, whether he's a one to the audience, a one-on-one with an actor, or one with his director. We are constantly relating to the people who are acting with us, our co-actors. Why are Kajol and Shah Rukh so iconic? Because they continue to relate to each other in a particular scene. They don't take their eyes off the ball. And the ball being the ability to relate, the process of give and take, which is what any two humans are about. If I put you, you're giving me something. You gave me an interesting thought. I'm giving you back. Then you will say something to me. Then I will say something to you. And that is how we connect. That is what a connection is made of. And it is based on empathy.
And yes, you said that 65% of the time we are communicating through body language. I would say even more, because when someone is a kid, he cannot speak, but he still communicates everything.
Absolutely. And I mean, to all those people out there who may not understand the power of expression through verbal speech, but they remain silent, or, to all the wonderful introverts out there who don't usually end up conversing so much, but like to be reticent and like to be quiet and silent. That's like, I would imagine, more than half the population of the world. They're able to convey so much through just being silent sometimes. So we have to respect everyone and everyone's skill set.
Okay, amazing. And I will start considering myself as an actor. So it will give me a huge confidence. Yes, it will. Yeah, because till now I was not doing, but I will start, I will start thinking, programming like that. I'm an actor, and I will start playing more and more with the kids and doing different activities. Yes. So it gives me so much clarity. You see, thank you so much. And yes, so yeah. So I would like to ask, so actors do a lot of practice, and many people don't realize this thing. So how that practice goes, and how much that goes, and how retakes, rehearse, all these things are going, because the thing is like, even I have changed little bit of my life in terms of communication. I'm changing regularly, but still I don't do that that level of practice. So please share that experience, how much they actually practice, so that we can understand and start increasing our practice, rehearse more, so that we maybe communicating that that same that actors wants to do to their audience.
Yes. Again, a wonderful question. And I'm often asked this question when I'm engaging live with people. Mm-hmm. You see, an actor has to constantly learn. If an actor stops his process to learn, he stops being an actor, which is exactly true for anybody. We all have to continuously learn. Yes. And in that process of learning, there are certain systems that we need to stick to. So one is, of course, how do we work on ourselves? How do we keep ourselves fit and active as actors? Mm-hmm. How do we increase our knowledge to include various experiences, human experiences? So reading is one way. Understanding the medium of theater and film. So watching multiple number of movies from different genres, exposing yourself to different kinds of theater, different kinds of mediums in the theater. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when you are employed, let's say in a film or in a play, you have to start researching your role. So lots and lots of time must be spent on research. Okay. Who am I playing? What must I do in this role to convince an audience that I am not Vidushi anymore, but I am Mr. X or Mr. Y? What do I need to do? How do I relate to Mr. X and Mr. Y? I am not Mr. X or Mr. Y. Yes. I am Vidushi. But what do I have to do to become Mr. X or Mr. Y? So it's a very deep process. It's a process of immense compassion to be able to be someone else, to be able to empathize with somebody else's life, to literally put yourself in someone else's shoes is a very big human process. It is the most ultimate selfless process. Actors actually are very selfless. You need to be selfless. You can't be full of yourself. You can't be opinionated. You can't be egoistical. You can't be judgmental. You can't be arrogant. You actually have to be the opposite. You have to be humble, modest, compassionate, empathizing. So look at the beautiful, positive emotions that an actor must always have. So an actor is always at peace because an actor has to empty out. I cannot be Vidushi if I have to play Karam. To understand Karam, I have to spend time with him. I have to understand his strengths. I have to understand his uniqueness. I have to understand his relationships. I have to observe him, the power of observation. I will have to spend days. अगर करम जी के ऊपर एक बायोपिक होता है और मेरे को चूज किया जाता है to play Karam, I will have to spend a lot of time with you to understand who you are, you know, to understand how you are with people, how you are in your own space. So it's such a wonderful journey. But then again, aren't we all doing that when we are performing in different roles? Don't we as customers or creators or entrepreneurs or leaders looking to do that all the time? So we're also empathizing. So good communicators are people who anticipate questions from their listener and are able to give them what they need, even without being asked. That is what an actor does. An actor becomes an excellent communicator because he's portraying a role to the best of his knowledge and also taking into account an audience's expectation of that role. So he has to be 2 steps ahead of his audience. So
Yes.
it is hours of research, hours and hours and hours of arduous, long rehearsal to keep perfecting the role. Working on your body language, working on an adaptability, working on your voice. What is the kind of voice do I need to play an older woman? What kind of a voice do I need to play a younger woman? What does my body language become if I'm playing a 70-year-old woman? What does my body language become if I'm supposed to play a 21-year-old? How do I adapt? The ability to be flexible and to constantly adapt is also very unique to an actor, which then also becomes very unique to the non-actor, which is what we always do. We're constantly adapting. So yeah, I mean, now I'm sure you would appreciate that the medium really allows you to connect to the human even more than any other medium.
Yes, I totally agree that, because actors take us in, suppose in a film, so they take us different emotions and we can correlate with them. We get the all kind of emotions when we watch that movie, right?
Yes.
So he is definitely doing a lot of work, and I think like champions do, like in daily hours they practice maybe 8 hours, 9 hours. They must be doing some kind of practice on their body language, rehearsing the script, remembering the script's exact words. So a lot of work goes on. And definitely, like I also heard, like there are retakes, multiple retakes, sometimes maybe 100 retakes. Is it true? Is it?
Yeah, lots of retakes happen not because of the actor, but because it's technical. Mostly it's technical. A retake usually happens because the cameras lose focus. So the cameramen have to like really capture the moment like in real time. And at the end of the day, we are using equipment and machinery. Lighting has to keep changing. Camera angles have to keep changing. The director has a different thought. He would like to execute that thought. There are different shot breakdowns for a particular scene. And this is purely, I'm talking about film, because there are no retakes in theater.
Yes.
But there are retakes in film.
Okay.
Theater is a continuous performance. And if the actor slips and falls, he falls. You know, there's no forgiveness in that medium. But in film, because it's all set up through cameras and you're being able to express yourself through a lens, which is so highly defined. Yes, usually it is because of the camera you have to take retakes. It's
Okay.
not usually the actor, because the actor is expected to know. The director always expects the actor to know what he's meant to do. The director will discuss the role. The director is the mentor of the captain of the ship. He has to guide. He has to say, you decide. You have to decide how to portray it. What are the skills you use to portray that particular role? So usually retakes only happen because of the equipment on set. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's really amazing. Yes. And we normal people don't consider ourselves creative. Okay, creative beings or creative humans. And in fact, I never considered myself as a creative. But now I am realizing that yes, I can be creative. Okay, and everybody can be creative. So please, sir, how can one be more creative? What's the process he can follow? And what are the tools that he can use, or what are the timings that he can use to be more creative?
Sure. So creativity again comes from what what you like to do in life. What are your passions? What really makes you happy? When do you really feel alive? Is it through friendship? Is it because of a person? Is it because of a talent? Is it because you can write or sing or dance or bake or create or sew or stitch or paint? I mean, every human being is talented. We have to recognize our talents at a much younger age, and we should be supported and encouraged by our teachers and by our friends and by our parents. And if we know what we like, it is through that process of really being in love with something or someone we feel creativity. So creativity comes from love. Creativity
Okay.
comes from wanting to be inspired. And so always find something to love. And by love, I mean really love, like from the whole and soul of your being. Really be alive when you love to do something. So I really love to act, and I really love to be on stage. And that is how I develop my creativity. If I'm not on stage, I feel like my creativity dims. It almost feels like it's being taken away from me. But I really need to be on stage to feel alive and to feel like I'm worth something. I feel confident. I feel all my skills coming together, coming enmeshed together. So find something you really love is what I would tell you.
Okay. 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 That's amazing. And we would also like to learn about Bollywood secrets, what secrets they use. And because many times we think of fans or superstars, and many people are really crazy, and they must be, I don't know the reason. But so what are their secrets in the Bollywood and
Well,
acting
I'm
or
sure
saying?
everybody, the thing is, at the end of the day, they're all human beings, and
Mhm.
they all have lives like you and me. They're all mothers and fathers and sisters
Yes,
and brothers
yes,
and
yes, yes.
nieces and nephews and granddaughters and grandsons, and they're not superhuman beings. So I don't personally understand the fan, you know. I mean, I'm your fan, Karam, because you do such good work. You connect with people.
Mhm.
I'm your fan, and I respect people who really enjoy being themselves, who can really give back to another human being. So I'm your fan. The word fan is a silly word because it makes no sense to me. We are admirers of the human race. I'm an admirer of your work. you can be an admirer of my work. We're admirers of people.
Okay.
We like to take inspiration from people. So I don't really understand this crazy superstardom. It doesn't work for me. I'm a very simple person.
Mhm.
I like to relate to simplicity. I don't like to. I don't understand what this big fame is, and you know, the money,
Yes.
the stardom, the
Yes.
superstardom. I mean,
Yes.
of course, Shah Rukh is a mega star. Salman Khan is a mega star. We have actresses who are mega stars, but you know, the medium they see it's so magnified for them, because when a movie of theirs releases, millions of people go to watch,
Mhm.
and millions of people aspire to be like them. They're aspirational, they idolize them.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, they don't see themselves like that at all. I don't think even a mega star like Shah Rukh Khan sees himself like a superstar. I think he sees himself as an ordinary person, as a father, as a husband, you know, and as a professional, you know. Yes, he has a lot of money, so he's privileged, and he has a lot of uses for that money, so he's privileged. But having privileges cannot be mixed up with stardom, you know. That shouldn't be the perception of acting. Yeah, that's my
Okay.
personal opinion.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, definitely it is true, but many people don't understand
Many
the
people don't
behind.
understand. And I want
Yes.
to just say one more thing, that it is a very hard profession. You know,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
amount of work that goes into being another actor, another person, the amount of waiting you need to do between shots. You have to constantly wait, because it takes time to develop, you know, the right camera angles, etc. You're just constantly waiting in your vanity van. And what are you doing when you're waiting? Are you waiting and losing time, being idle? No. You must constantly still work, you know, in your silence, in your private space. So a lot of actors don't respect that also. So we all have our limitations. A lot of actors don't understand the importance of waiting, what they can do in that time of waiting. So
Okay.
all of us have our limitations as well.
Okay, that's really awesome. That's really awesome. Okay, so one more thing, like I would like to, ask how they think and what they think, what are you can say their thinking process goes, how actors think differently, or how what goes behind into their thinking. So they must be they must be thinking something big or something that we don't understand.
Right. No, I don't think it's that at all. I think every actor has his own process, like every human being has their own understanding of life because of their own experiences. So it
Hmm.
is a unique process to each person. Even in
Okay.
the acting world, the process of acting becomes very unique and very different for each person. I personally spend a lot of time with the imaginary understanding of my character. I have to imagine what that person has gone through. I have to imagine what that role's challenges are, or where do the obstacles lie? Where is the conflict? How do I resolve the conflict? What is the dilemma that the actor, the character has? So the actor and the character, I mean, they're not any different. An actor has to become the character. The character is the actor. So it's it's a very thin line, but I would say that it takes an absolute understanding, and the understanding comes from relatability, and the relatability comes from empathy. So, an act of empathy is what acting is.
Okay. Okay, that's really awesome. And please share more about the actors like Toolbox, the program you created,
Yes,
and how
the
it can help others. Yes, yes.
yes, like I said in the lockdown last year, I became a little afraid. I wasn't sure if I would ever be on stage again,
Mm-hmm.
or if I would be in front of the camera. One didn't know how dangerous, you know, this virus would end up becoming. And
Mm-hmm.
I just hope everyone is safe and everyone's taking care of themselves. And even while you're at home, please do not feel negative. Use this as an opportunity to gain skills, because when the world opens up, and it will open up, the virus will go away. It has to go away. We will all be looked at differently. And we will all be looked at like, how has Vidushi changed? What has she done with herself? How has she grown as an individual? So coming back to the Actors Toolbox, it's just a small initiative of 10 pre-recorded videos in 3 modules, each module being on 3 very vital tools or skills that an actor uses: body language, voice, and character. These are tools that anyone can use. An actor uses them so efficiently. And my job as the narrator of this course is to show and convince people that you can connect with this medium as well. And you can borrow tools from the Actors Toolbox to transform yourself in your professional and personal life.
Okay, and that's really awesome. And I would like to ask one more question, like about character. Okay, character, and the thing is like how to build a strong character. What are the elements goes behind that? And many people don't consider themselves as strong characters, and
Absolutely.
because of self image, or because of low confidence, or because of multiple things. So how to
Yes.
build a character that that is something awesome, amazing character?
It is actually the most important question to oneself. How do I become a stronger character myself, in my own life, in my own story? And my life is like a film, or my world is my stage. And how do I constantly improve on my character? Well, the answer is very simple. You need to know yourself. Ask yourself, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? If you ask yourself these questions every day when you wake up, it's like a self meditation. It's like understanding what your goals are. It's in the long term and the short term. You have to have long term goals, you have to have short term goals. You have to keep yourself fit, you have to exercise, you have to eat well, you have to sleep well, you have to follow a spiritual guidance, whatever it may mean to you. You have to evolve and grow every day through your experiences. So what do your experiences mean to you? If you're making mistakes, how do you learn from them? It's the most beautiful mechanism. It is the most beautiful dynamic of keeping yourself pure, keeping yourself alive and pure through the process of staying humble and being able to give. So the process of staying humble and the ability to give to another human being will give you purpose. So outline all those objectives in your life that give you purpose. I want to be a better father. That is purpose. I want to be able to spend more time with my children. If I'm not being able to spend more time with my children, can I increase my time by 30 minutes? But in those 30 minutes, I need to switch off my phone. I need to get off all my devices. Give 100% of my time to my children. Really connect with them. So really connect. Actually, what happens is that we're so distracted. Every human being is so distracted. We're distracted by ourselves, by our own thoughts. We don't have a filtration process. We don't know how to clear our thoughts. Our thoughts must come from a desire to be true to ourselves. And from there it is, we will build clarity. We build clarity from our thoughts.
Yes.
But जब हमारे thoughts ही इतने muddled हैं, इतने confused हैं, जब हमको खुद ही नहीं पता हमको क्या चाहिए, तो हम दूसरों से क्या expect करेंगे?
Yes.
It's a very simple thing. तो लेकिन हमारी expectation दूसरों से इतनी ज़्यादा हो जाती है, it becomes, we keep expecting and we keep shifting blame. The human being is not working on on himself, first we need to look deep down. Where are we? Who are we? What are we doing? Why are we like this? Why do we get angry? Why do we get disappointed? Why do we feel let down by the people we love? Is it because I have an expectation of my wife or my son or my daughter? But what am I doing? How am I being a better person to them? So I think that realization is very, very weak in the human being. And we need to constantly self-discover. We need to constantly work on ourselves. We need to really look at ourselves as another character. So it's like a vision. It's like a third eye. The third eye has to open up and we have to look within before we can look outward. Always look within before we look outward. That's the philosophy that I like to live by. It's not always easy for me to do, but it is a goal for me. And I don't know when I'll achieve it. It's a never-ending achievement, but I like to keep myself on that track so that I can stay correct. It's a corrected human course.
Okay. Okay, that's really wonderful. That's really awesome.